Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PreStream podcast. Today is Saturday, the 4th of June, 2022. What a day we've got in store, everyone, obviously, with a lot going on today that we're going to talk about here on the PreStream podcast. We've got an interesting segment on the podcast today. We're going to be talking about the leaking of the entire, well, possibly, the entire Street Fighter 6 roster. That's funny because it happened in the interim of me doing content kind of yesterday, and then Capcom confirmed it, which blows my mind that they even talked about it. They literally confirmed it on their social media. We're going to go through that today, because a lot of people already in the last 24 hours have asked me for my opinions on Street Fighter 6, and this is a great way to talk about it, because now we can kind of see what they're doing with the game, okay? Now, obviously, my friends, today is a big day because today is my marathon react event, reacting to the John and Howard video from 2015. It was never really had a title. We'll talk about it a little bit as it starts, of where this video came from and all of that. But this is pretty much, I would say, the most unique content that I've kind of ever done. And the reason I say that is because this is something that's personal to me. This is something that people have wanted me to do for years and years and years. And I always said, no, it's not worth it. It's going to cause drama. It's going to do this. It's going to do that. So, waited about 7 years. 7 freaking years to do anything with this. Okay? And I've already explained previously, but I'll explain again, that I am not monetizing any portions of today's stream, nor am I monetizing any of the on-demand videos regarding reacting to the John and Howard video. All right? There'll be no ads. There'll be no leaderboard. There'll be no pop-ups. All right? None of that. All right? If you wish to support my streams and my content and my videos, please do so now during the pre-stream. Or in the middle of today's stream, there will be a segment, Feasting with the King, which, by the way, we're going to order the food for Feasting with the King shortly, right here on the pre-stream, okay? Or at the very tail end of the stream, all right, excuse me, where I'm going to kind of do like a, ending video to say, thanks for watching today and all of that, and give you a preview of what's coming tomorrow. Those are the only portions of today's content that I will have any kind of monetization on. So please understand that if you willingly decide, oh, I want to contribute to Phil's stream today with a membership or gifted memberships or a super chat or a super sticker or a tip, there will not be any mention of it. There will not be any shout outs for it. There will not be any pop-up messages on the screen, and I will not be updating the leaderboards whatsoever while I'm doing the reaction to John and Howard. All right? One of the major points that they make in that video from 2015 is that they feel that I monetized them, and to that day found new ways to monetize them on the regular. All right? We're definitely going to talk about this today. We are. Going to address it fully. Going to let you know exactly from my perspective all the talk and arrangements and everything. Again, we're getting ahead of ourselves. I keep getting ahead of myself. Every day I start talking about it. I'm like, wait, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. We're going to actually do it today. Okay? So, that's the deal. And that's very different. I don't think I've done it since I became a full-time streamer. I don't think I've done a stream where I said I'm purposely demonetizing it. I don't think that I've had a video, right? It's always kind of been, what I do is my job. It's fair game to monetize. And by the way, it is fair game to monetize. If I so chose, I would not be legally in the wrong to monetize today's content. However, I would probably feel awful, since this is the subject matter of some of the issues that they had with me over the years. To further monetize them 7 years later would probably be pretty hypocritical and or pretty tone deaf to the whole point of reacting to their video, right? So, I'm not going to do it. I don't want to do it. And by the way, quite frankly, I don't need to do it. One day doing something completely different is not going to ruin DSP Gaming as a streaming channel or a business, all right? That being said, again, I'm not going to shut down everything on the channel. It's hilarious. I got messages overnight. You should completely demonetize DSP Gaming for the day. Why don't you just turn off every kind of monetization possible for the entirety of your channel? For the entirety of my channel. So I should not have any rights to make ad revenue today. I should not have any rights to get a super thanks or anything on any video on this channel today. Right. Okay. Plus, I'll be honest with you. I do not trust YouTube. Just being honest here. I do not trust YouTube that if I were to turn off monetization on this channel, that I would then immediately be able to turn the monetization back on. I don't trust it in any way, shape, or form. I think that, you know, with the track record YouTube has, that would be completely stupid of me to trust it to work. So I am definitely not going to chance hurting myself and my business. Again, this is my job. This is not my hobby, and I mess around, and who cares if it gets fucked up. This is my job. And if I were to do something that drastic and then it didn't turn back on right away, I'd be pretty screwed. All right? So, I'm doing the right thing here in my eyes by not monetizing the portions of this stream and or the on-demand videos after the fact. All right? And I hope that people feel the same way, and if you don't, sorry. Because here's the thing, people always move the goalpost. Oh, well, if Phil monetizes that video, he's in the wrong. Okay, I'm not monetizing it. Oh, well then what Phil should have done is he should have monetized it, but he should donate to a charity and he should do this. Bullshit. This is where you get into the horrendous bullshit of the internet. These people who say shit like that will never be satisfied. Because then, oh, okay, let's do a charity. Oh, that's not a good enough charity. He should have done it. Fuck you. We're just not going to monetize it that way. There's no misconstruing of anything. There's no bullshit. I'm turning off the ads. I'm not going to be doing anything regarding any kind of income or revenue while I talk about the John and Howard video today. Okay? And that's that. All right? That's that. So, all right, Eternal, you're gone because you have been being fucked up for days and you're gone. You're not coming back. Okay. And that's what I mean. I have no tolerance for this shit today either. This is something, just to clarify and be transparent with everyone, this is not exciting for me. This is not a fun day for me. This is not, oh, Phil's doing an exciting playthrough or a cool React event. This is not that for me today. This is meaningful in a different way. This is hurtful to me. There's a reason why I have not said much or anything official about this particular video in 7.5 years. It's because it's personal shit. And quite frankly, this is the kind of stuff that should never be on the internet. This is exactly the kind of stuff that hurts relationships, that hurts people personally. All right? It's one thing, oh, hurting someone's livelihood or whatever, you know, neither here nor there. This is something that personally is very hurtful to me to even listen back to. Okay? We'll talk about that. Again, I'm getting ahead of myself. It took me a long time to even listen to the thing in full. All right? So anyway, all that being said, this is not exciting. This is not fun content. This is not that kind of crap. And by the way, I said this previous, and I'll state this again. Okay? I will not be doing drama content like this again anytime soon. After today, after this is put to bed and we finally get this at rest after many, many years of it being kind of a lingering issue and thing that people wanted an answer on, from now on when people say to me, Phil, what do you think about John and Howard? What happened with that situation? Will you ever do stuff in the future? Yada, yada, yada. I will say, watch the John and Howard reaction. I did a whole giant project on it. All right? And that's my response to that. And then we're just going to move on positively. I am not going to be dwelling on the past with this any further. This is meant to essentially put this in the past. And by the way, I'm well aware there are a ton of people watching today who have not watched my stuff in many, many years. I've already been contacted by quite a few people behind the scenes saying, I haven't watched your stuff in ages, but this has always been a lingering thing for us. Like, what happened with you and John and Howard, and we want to know, and we're going to be watching. So, understand that this is not just about me. It's not just about them. This is about a whole community of people on the internet who, back then, during my formative years as a content creator, essentially watching me share my relationship and friendships that were private publicly with people on the internet, and thousands of people all over the internet liked that. They liked myself and John and Howard and our interactions and the way that we got along and the content that we made. And it was very hurtful, not only to us, but to you guys too, when it all fell apart. Which is part of the whole equation we're going to be discussing today, because this is one of the major running themes of my history of content creation. When you make the private public, sadly, it hurts. And it can backfire. And it can spiral out of control. And that's exactly what happened in many cases in this situation, where this should have been stuff that was always private and behind the scenes, but instead, we ended up having a public-facing relationship where when we weren't talking anymore, when we weren't doing content anymore, oh my God, what's going on? Oh my God, ask Phil. Oh my God, ask Rambo. Oh my God, ask Howard. Ask, pester, ask. And I'm not blaming anyone. I get it. But that's definitely a huge part of this equation. That if things had gone differently, and if maybe we hadn't been so public-facing with everything that we had done, and made as much content as we did, and shared as much as we did, then maybe that would have never happened. And we would have continued to this day to still have a friendly relationship. I don't know. I mean, it's all what do they say? Hindsight is 20/20, and there's all what ifs and everything. We're not going to do all that dwelling shit today. What we're going to do is focus on the video they put out, and I'm going to go through it piece by piece, and essentially give you frame of reference and context, and let you know what I think about each part, and let you know from my perspective if what they're saying is truthful or not truthful, or maybe even not truthful enough because there's more to it. And I'll be honest, a lot of this today is going to be very damning to me, all right? It's not going to be pretty. There's going to be many portions of this video that we're going to go through that I'm going to be fessing up to some pretty bad behaviors and or being a pretty shitty friend. Because in reality, looking back at the situation, I don't think I was very unfair to them business-wise. I think I was a shitty friend. All right? And I will publicly say that, and I'll talk about that when we get to it. All right? And I think that's really the issue here. The issue wasn't ever really business. It was the friendship. Problem is, they made an 1.5-hour video about me. A lot of it's about business. And that we'll address. Okay? Okay. I just dribbled all over myself. When I opened this bottle of seltzer water, it exploded all over the place. So anyway, just to clarify and just to say up front one more time, the only portions of my stream today that will be monetized is right now this pre-stream podcast, the Feasting with the King episode we're going to do somewhere in the middle, and at the end I'm going to do kind of a night ending, thanks for watching, summary, have a good night, talk to you tomorrow kind of video to end the whole marathon event. Fair enough? I will not be doing shout outs. I will not be updating a leaderboard or any of that during the portions when we are addressing John and Howard's video. Fair enough? I hope this makes sense, and I hope no one's going to be upset. Someone's going to come in the middle of the day and drop a contribution and be like, oh, he didn't shout it out, now I'm upset, and I'm going to charge it back and everything. I tried to do my absolute positive best to be transparent with all of you. If you want to contribute, do it now, or do it during the other part. Don't do it during the John and Howard segment, all right? Okay, I hope this makes sense. All right, but I don't want to talk about that the whole pre-stream. We got other shit to talk about, all right? First of all, I once again want to say thank you guys for the positive reaction to my very first DSP Reactst live event that I did a few days ago to the state of play that Sony put out. As of today, this morning, I want to say I think it's gotten over 4,000 views. I haven't really checked. Not to say that that's giant views. I don't pull in giant views on this channel and probably never will ever again. But for what it is, for the people who are interested and wanted to see me do a live react, the general consensus is it was a pretty good thing that I did, and people now are kind of geared up to see me do more. There will be more coming up. This coming Thursday, which is the 9th, June 9th, at 11 a.m. Pacific time, is Summer Games Fest. And by all accounts, it's going to be a 2 to 3 hour long live streamed digital event, and I'll be covering it in full live here on the stream. So essentially what I'll probably do is watch it live with you, do a live reacts, take notes, then take a quick break, and then come back and do my recap reactions afterward, okay? So there you go. And then there's another one. I think it's on the 12th, so 3 days later, and that's the Microsoft and Bethesda showcase, and that's at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And I will be reacting live to that one as well. Okay? So those are the two that I'm planning on doing. Now, I'm well aware there's tons more coming up, but I'm not doing those. I'm not doing a PC game showcase, a future game showcase. There's all these little ones and things. I don't really have any vested interest in those. I don't, I'm not going to be making content on PC gaming, so why am I going to react to that? You know what I'm saying? Now, here's the thing. Those streams, I can't do gameplay. Like, how would I? I'm going to be reacting most of the stream and then doing a recap reactions, and even if I have a little bit of extra time at the end, what will it be, like an hour? So don't expect gameplay on those streams. Yes, those will definitely kind of push back my current playthroughs. That's okay. You know what I mean? Like, we're okay. We're in a good position. It's not like, oh God, I'm in the middle of Elden Ring and people are going to be so upset with me. It's not a big deal, I feel, to have a couple days where we're going to be doing that React style content. All right? But thank you. Thank you for supporting it. Thank you for all of that. All right? Okay. Let's see. Outside of that, I'm trying to think if there's like anything else. I guess what we'll do is we'll briefly go through the schedule for the rest of the week and talk about the schedule coming up this week. And then I want to talk about the Street Fighter 6 roster leaks, which we're going to go in depth about. And then we're going to order food for Feasting with the King. Okay? All right. So first off, the schedule for the week. You already know what we're doing today. I don't feel like I need to reiterate that. Tomorrow we go back to regularly scheduled gameplay. It's going to be Skyrim Anniversary Edition on the first stream. And we are going to be doing the Stormcloak's political plotline. I did not do that plotline in my first playthrough many years ago. So I'm actually going to see that plotline for the very first time with you guys live. I don't even know what happens in it. Okay? Then, once that's done, because I don't know how long it is, we're going to be doing the Dawnguard Dlc. Okay? So, excited for this because it's basically we're heading into the end game / kind of epilogue content for Skyrim when you really think about it. We've got the Dawnguard, then we've got the end of the story. There's really not much left in the game. We've done almost everything. We're over 120 hours into the playthrough. I've been playing this since freaking December. You want to talk about a completionist run? This is pretty much as complete as it can be with the game. Of course, the game glitched in some cases, and I can't finish certain quests, which really sucks. There's certain Creation Club content that my wife Kat told me, oh, it's good, you gotta do it. I gotta do it. It doesn't work. The fucking mission's glitched. Ugh. Bullshit. But what can you do? That's Skyrim in a nutshell. Bunch of glitches. Right? Anyway, that's tomorrow. Then tomorrow night, the late stream will be the continuation of The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. Very fun playthrough for me. Blast from the Past, one of my favorite, is my favorite Zelda game of all time, one of my favorite retro games of all time. And I'm happy to be sharing this with all of you. We'll be doing probably dungeons like 5 and 6 during that stream. Then on Monday, WWE 2K22 My Rise, and we're heading into the end of it. And what I mean by that is we're currently in the plot line to go up against Seth Rollins for the WWE title, which is the big title on Monday Night Raw, the show that I'm on. So once I get that title, essentially there'll probably be like defense plot lines, and then I've done everything. So we're very clear to the end, or very close to the end, I should say, of that playthrough. Okay? And then Monday night, Uncharted 2 Endgame. We're actually starting chapter 23, and the game only has 27 chapters. We might beat it on Monday night. We'll have to see. Okay? I will not be here on Tuesday. When I return on Wednesday, we'll go back to Skyrim as the main stream. And then that night, Wednesday night, will likely be kind of like end game content of Zelda. I don't know if we'll beat Zelda that day, but we'll get pretty close, I feel. Thursday is what I just mentioned. Thursday is the day when we're going to be doing the live React to Summer Games Fest. Okay? So Thursday night is kind of up in the air. If I haven't finished Uncharted, we could do that. If people wanted to see maybe a late night stream of Skyrim as a one-off rarity, we could do that. I'm kind of leaving that open. And then Friday is a double new release day. This is June 10. We got The Quarry, which is the new horror game from the makers of Until Dawn and the Dark Pictures Anthology series, followed by Mario Strikers Battle League, obviously the new Mario Strikers game, which is soccer, football, whatever you want to call it. First-party game that apparently has a really good campaign and all that. So we got a double new release day that day. So that's going to be the entirety of the day. Now, obviously, what this means is that this is going to bump our usual Friday night fights. We usually do Street Fighter on a Friday night. That's going to be bumped to Saturday night So essentially Saturday will be more of the quarry, maybe even finishing up my first run of the game on the first stream, and then the late stream will be Street Fighter. Then that Saturday the 12th is the next React event, which is the Microsoft and Bethesda showcase. Okay, so I know we're going through all this and we're getting way ahead of ourselves, but this is a unique week. This is a unique week where I'm going to be doing, you know, playthroughs I've been doing for a while and trying to finish them up. There's going to be 2 new playthroughs and a double React event. So a crazy kind of a week with content all over the place. But hey, that's the cool thing about being a variety streamer. Every day you tune in, you don't know what the heck I'm going to be doing. Something different every single day, right? Awesome. The one final thing that I would like to talk about before we talk about Street Fighter 6 is this right here. Because, ladies and gentlemen, this has been astoundingly positive this month. And I just want to give a major shout out to anyone who either became a channel member or gifted memberships to DSP Gaming this month. As you guys know, it was just under 2 weeks ago that gifted memberships were made available to me on this channel. And since then, we went from around 350 memberships to over 600 within like a week and a half. Okay? This is ridiculous cool and fun and positive, and thank you for that support. I was not expecting that much. I was expecting people to gift memberships because, you know, I was looking at my track history from over on Twitch. On Twitch, I started off on the regular when I started full-time streaming around 2017. I had between 300 and 400 subs. And then what would happen is, as the gifted subs were made available, some people started gifting. And what would happen is every month, I get a couple hundred gifted subs. And out of those gifted subs, some people would keep on with the sub. So even though in the short term you could consider it artificial growth, there was long-term growth that came from it. And take a look at me streaming on Twitch from 2017 all the way till last year. It was about a 4-year period. I went from around 300 subs upwards to around 900 a month. And climbing. I was still on a growth trajectory when it all fell apart over there. Okay? So all the good news about this is, I feel, the beginning of something great here on DSP Gaming. This is the beginning of growth. This is the beginning of people having a feeling of community. It's not just about, oh, I want to support Phil. It's, I want to support this community of people who all collectively enjoy Phil's content. We want to feel like we're helping each other out. It is the feeling of camaraderie almost, right? We all love games. We all like sharing our opinions on games. We like watching, you like watching me play games. I love playing the games and sharing those experiences with you every day. And when people gift memberships, all right, that is something that it feels like a community event. It really does. People get so excited for it. And it becomes this feeling of hype and excitement. And it's been really cool this last week and a half. It's been like, oh, well, someone gifts some memberships today. And by the way, it's just such a weird process because you have to manually set it up that you will accept gifted memberships on YouTube, which is just so weird because on Twitch it was such an easy process. And here it's like you have to purposely tell YouTube, yes, I will accept it ahead of time for you to get it. But even with the hoops that people have to jump through to do it, it's still, look at the growth, right? So it is official. We hit all of the monthly member goals for this month already, and it's only, well, we did it last night, so we did it within 3 freaking days, right? How crazy. How freaking crazy that this happened, you know? So let's talk about that. Goal number 1 hit means that we're going to be doing a viewer's choice playthrough. So next week, I'm going to set this up where you guys are going to be able to start nominating games for a full playthrough you want to see me do right here on DSP Gaming. And yes, there will be qualifying criteria. I'm not going to be playing any 80 to 100-hour JRPGs. I'm not doing visual novels. I'll set all that up ahead of time so you know well what qualifies and what doesn't. It's not going to be that constricting, but at the same time, the whole idea is that this is supposed to be a playthrough we do over the summertime until new releases start hitting in the fall. This is not supposed to be a game that I play for 2 years. You understand the difference? So no Divinity Original Sin 2s or anything like that. I completely agree, Swagonito. A horror goal would be neat. That would be cool. Like a horror game being thrown into the mix, like for viewer's choice. That would be great. If it was like a horror themed game, I would love that. But anyway, we won't get ahead of ourselves here. So that's number 1. And again, there will be opportunity for both members and non-members to nominate games. The members will have priority. Those are all 600 of you. will have priority, because what games you nominate and vote on will then hit the final poll. You're a step ahead of everyone else, essentially, because you're a member. For those who are non-members, don't worry. You also have ample opportunity to nominate and vote on a game for this event. Now, in addition, we hit the Tier 2 goal, and the Tier 2 goal has locked in that we're doing another React event, likely in 3 weeks to a month, because I don't want to do these that often. I feel like when I do these, they're special events. We talk about them. We hype them up. We set a date so people know to be here for them. And if I do React all the time, I feel like it's going to get played out. I'm already doing we already did State of Play. We're doing this today. And the next week, we're doing Summer Games Fest, Microsoft and Bethesda. You see, it's going to be too much. If I keep doing them all the time, it's like, well, now it's commonplace. It's not special anymore. So we'll set a date, likely for late June to early July. But the next React event, I am not doing drama shit. I'm just not. We've already done Down the Rabbit Hole Dark Side Phil. Today we're doing the John and Howard video. Sorry, the next one is not going to be, this is how you don't play Metal Gear Solid or whatever it is. We're not doing that. We're doing something different and fun. We're going to talk about it over the next few weeks. We'll talk about it on pre-streams. We'll try to figure out exactly what it is that you guys would like to see for the next React event. In particular, I would be leaning towards something such as maybe reacting to a documentary that someone else made, like maybe another Frederick Knudsen documentary, or June the King does documentaries. I got permission to do his content. Or, as I said, there is a channel on YouTube that kind of does true crime, supernatural stuff. I got permission to react to that stuff too. So we'll talk about this in the coming weeks, and we'll start talking, about it and everything, and go from there to figure out what it's going to be. So there will be a viewer's choice playthrough and a new React event coming up. Now, you may say, well, wait a minute. Now we're 4 days into the month. You already hit all your goals, so what's the potential for growth? Why would someone want to become a member now? Well, fair enough, when you hit your goals so quickly, right? I mean, I didn't expect this. I never expected we were going to be hitting the 600 member goal in 2-3 days. That's crazy. Like, think about it. We were just at 350. Right? Like, what the heck? I flapped my jowls in surprise. What? How did we do that so fast? So, what I would say is, if you guys are interested in having another member goal for the month, I would be open to that. But I have no idea what it would be. I really have no clue what it would be. Like, I think about it, I guess, right? I think about, like, what would be another cool event to do or reward to give that's feasible. And I mean that. It has to be something feasible. It can't be, let's completely interrupt Phil's normal content, right? And do something that's going to take ridiculous amounts of time away from him doing his live streams and gameplay and other stuff. It has to be something that makes sense and is kind of in line with everything else. All right? So let's talk about it. Let's think about it. And again, we don't have to do that today. Today we're kind of busy. But this is something that we'll talk about, I'm sure, over the next week or so, and we can kind of figure out another goal you guys would like. I'm all for it. However, I'll just throw this out there. All right? About a week and a half ago, within 1 day, I was gifted 100 members. Okay? That means another week and a half to 2 weeks, we're going to lose 100 members. So if I'm going to set up any kind of a new member goal, we have to do it relatively quickly before the membership goes boo, because those 100 gifted members expire. So we got to think about it, okay? Thank you. People are already throwing out ideas, and I appreciate that. Again, we'll brainstorm about that coming up. All right. Well, let us talk about Street Fighter 6, because this is the hot topic. This is ridiculous. Street Fighter 6 is announced during the Sony State of Play. Within 24 hours of Street Fighter 6 being announced in the Sony State of Play, the entire friggin' roster, or at least what everyone is assuming is the entire roster, is leaked on the internet with full character art. So, some employee at Capcom is a real asshole. I mean, it's not that it's damning or anything. In fact, I think this is building up more hype than they even thought it would. But why did this happen? And how? And, how does this stuff keep happening? We keep getting leaks from these games. It's like, how the fuck does this happen like this? And another interesting question, why did it happen right now? Isn't it, interestingly enough, they announced the game and then the leak happened? Why didn't the leak happen before the announcement? It's very weird, right? By the way, if you haven't noticed, no, I didn't drop everything in my schedule to start talking about Street Fighter 6 nonstop. The gameplay continued as normal. a lot of people did. There's people out there who are primarily fighting game content creators, and I'm not kidding you, they had the most views ever in a day that they've ever had yesterday. That's how hotly anticipated Street Fighter 6 is, and I think that's a combination of two factors. Number one, people really, really want a new Street Fighter game, and we haven't had one in a very long time. Street Fighter 5 was really, 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 really long running there. If you remember, the beta came out in like 2015. The full game, I want to say, came out either 2016, 2017, and it wasn't very good at launch. And a lot of people, well, anyway, the game's been running very long and basically been milked for a very long time. People have been clamoring for a new Street Fighter for a very long time. The other thing is, I think a lot of people are going to actually be coming back to play Street Fighter who essentially didn't like Street Fighter 5. All right? What's hilarious about Street Fighter 5 is the community kept kissing its butt for the longest time. And I've talked about this at length. Street Fighter 5 got way too much hype because people were afraid if they didn't hype Street Fighter 5, there was nothing else that Capcom was putting out fighting game-wise, and it would essentially kill Street Fighter forever. So even though a lot of people did not actually like the game, they said they did, or they stomached it enough to be putting out constant content. Oh, I don't like this game, but here's a ton of content on it. Wait, what? You don't like it? Go play something else. There's 4 billion other games on this planet you could play if you don't like Street Fighter 5. Nope, gotta play it. That was a lot of people's mentality during the run of Street Fighter 5. Me, I played it for about 3-4 months. Didn't like it. Then someone offered to buy me a season pass like a year later. They did. Played it. Still didn't like it. And decided to never go back to it. I was like, dude, there's so much more in gaming than just Street Fighter. And if I don't like a game, I don't have to force myself to play it. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't. And a lot of people gave me shit for that. They're like, Phil, you're the guy that we go to for Street Fighter coverage. We feel like you're an independent and you cover things fairly. And the fact that you're not talking about Street Fighter 5, you're not playing the DLC characters, you're not doing this and that is disappointing. And very honestly, yeah, you're right, because I was known during Street Fighter 4 as one of the independent guys covering the game, not a tournament level player, but someone who was fair and honest about it. I know a lot of extents, like, people don't care about fighting games anymore when it comes to Darkside Phil. Like, they don't associate DSP and fighting games anymore. At one point, I had a whole fucking channel on YouTube called DSP Street Fighter. Right? And now it's like, barely even, think about that. Once a week, I play Friday Night Fights, which is my old school Street Fighter stream. And that's about it. When a new fighting game comes out, I cover it for a bit. And I'll do if there's a single player campaign, and I'll do some online gameplay of various characters, and usually within a month I drop it, right? I'm not hardcore invested in any fighting game these days. So anyway, Street Fighter 6 announced. I mean, I already gave you my opinions on it yesterday. In a nutshell, I think so far it looks good. All right. I can't tell you till we actually play it. Having the whole, what do they call it? Drive meter, having different abilities. You can parry, but you can do a counter, a reversal, or another cancel move, or whatever they are. That's good. Just having an ability to do various moves like that, instead of being set to one V skill, like it was in Street Fighter 5, gives you variety of gameplay and control over the match that you didn't have in Street Fighter 5. Street Fighter 5, one of my major complaints was the whole game's pattern play. You pick your character, you pick your V skill, that's it, you're done. Now you know how to play that character, and you play your pattern, and if you play better than the other person or you guess better, you win. No variety of gameplay, nothing. It's all the same. Anytime you watch a competitive match of Street Fighter 5 and you see the two characters, it's like you know what the match is at the select screen, right? Other fighting games were not like that. It was like, wow, you could pick Dlc, but you could play him as completely zoned. You could do a hybrid of zoning and mid-range combat. You could rush down with Dlc and do throw loops. You know what I'm saying? It was always like that in Street Fighter, and then Street Fighter 5 kind of ruined that. That's why I didn't like the game. So now, if you're going to have a drive system where all these abilities are different, so one person might like parrying, one person might like canceling and being more offensive, one person might do a hybrid. That's good. That means variety of gameplay, which is what people fucking want. That's what makes a competitive game exciting. Not only for the viewer, but the player as well. That's what Street Fighter 5 was lacking. So if that actually does end up being how the game is played, great. Okay? But today we're going to talk about the roster leak. Because the roster leaked online, and let's go through it. Okay? So, we're going to start off with some of the staples. And what we're going to do is we're going to go through this kind of, characters and tell you, here's what they look like or whatever. Because that's all we really know. We don't know how they play. We know how they look. So we start with the classics, meaning the original Street Fighter cast of Street Fighter 2. We got Ryu and Ken. Ryu is from Japan. I never knew that. I thought he was from Tibet. No. It's funny, though, because he kind of, the way he's dressed here, you know, it almost looks like he's like a monk or something like that. Like he lives in, like he's a hermit and he lives in the hills. Because isn't that like a hide, like a pelt or something he's wearing over his shoulder? I mean, it's hard to tell, but it kind of looks to me like this is him living the lifestyle. You know, in the original Street Fighter games, he was supposed to be like a guy wandering the streets with a bag with all his clothes in it and his belongings. The true wandering world warrior. Here it looks like he's kind of settled down, maybe living in the hills or something. I don't know. Ken is wearing what appears to be a lengthy bomber style jacket. He's still wearing his his notable red pants, but that's about it. He's not wearing anything else. Oh, see, really? Legend Killer says Ryu is essentially wearing Oro's garb from Street Fighter 3. You know what? You're right. Now I'm kind of noticing that. That's what Oro is wearing. So maybe he moved out to the mountains because Oro, the character from Street Fighter 3, is a hermit. He lives in the mountains by himself. He's such a powerful warrior that he lives by himself in the mountains and he only fights with one hand because if he fought with both hands, he would apparently kill everyone right away. Yeah, that's the actual lore of Street Fighter 3. So it looks like maybe he's been living with Oro, right? Ken, you know, who knows what he's doing in a bomber jacket. It's not really too clear here. What I would hope is that Ken, for once, will not look stupid. Because in Street Fighter 2, Ken was just a palette swap of Ryu. Only difference is they put this yellow hair on his head. But essentially it was exactly the same look as Ryu. Over the years, they've changed Ken dramatically. Okay? But it's not really clear looking at this what he's all about or what his plotline will be. Zangief looks pretty cool. I mean, it looks like Zangief at this point, if you look at him, he looks like he returned to the pro wrestling circuit, right? You see, he's instead of wearing like tights, now he's wearing like full wrestling trunks. And Ken's kind of blocking his arm, but it looks like he's wearing like a wrestling elbow pad. So maybe he actually fully did return to pro wrestling, and that's his plotline now. He's a pro wrestler again, because remember in Street Fighter 2, he's not. He's like a former pro wrestler. That's cool. Like a Saturday Night Slam Masters vibe to him, right? Okay, let's continue on here. Hold on, I gotta select each picture. So now we kind of extrapolate upon that. We zoom back a little bit, and we continue on. And what's revealed here is that it's all 8 of the original characters from Street Fighter 2 World Warrior will be in Street Fighter 6, which initially I'm happy. That was one of the things that was stupid about Street Fighter 5, is that they didn't have most of the original cast, and then they slowly released them as DLC. Like, no, just fucking put them in the game or don't. They're the staple characters of the franchise. Either they're there or they're not. Don't then people charge... You're charging people for something that's been in the game since the start. Do you not think that's going to piss people off and or be really fucking stupid? So I'm glad that they're in there from the start. You got Dhalsim, looking like an old man with a big bushy beard. I like that. Although I don't know how the hell that's going to affect his yoga fire. Is he going to burn his beard off his face every time? I guess he's got to be really careful. Honda, arguably looking his most muscular from any game ever. Although if you actually look at the character art of Honda from Street Fighter 2 series, he always kind of looked buff. Like he looked like, even though he's a sumo, he looked like he was built like muscle. But the game itself didn't really portray him like that. Well, he looks crazy powerful. Like maybe Honda isn't a sumo wrestler anymore and he's become a different kind of fighter. Or, I mean, I'm not saying that his fighting style will change because, you know, the lore of the character. Blanca's Blanca. I don't think Blanca's ever going to change. He's a mutated freak. Right? What are you going to do? It is, you know, we'll see. But that's Blanca. Guile, I don't even know what's going on with Guile. Like, he kind of reminds me of fucking Van Damme. He does. He reminds me of Van Damme from the Street Fighter movie. He's in like this military garb, right? And I don't know, like, I guess we'll find out. But it looks to me like maybe he went back. Because keep in mind, the plot of, I should say this. The plot of Street Fighter 6 takes place after the plot of Street Fighter 3. Shadowloo is done. Shadowloo is actually completely defeated. There's no more Shadowloo terrorist organization. So Bison's defeated. Bison's gone. No one even knows where he is, if he's dead or whatever. So that whole plot is over with. So, you know, there's no Interpol isn't going after Shadowloo anymore. So these characters are off doing their own stuff. You know, we don't know what Guile will be up to in this, but it looks like he went back to the military officially with the way he looks here. And Chun-Li, out of the entirety of the original cast, Chun-Li looks the best. Why? Because for the first fucking time in any Street Fighter game, they cut the bullshit, trying to make every character look like a fucking anime, and they made her look Chinese. Which she should have looked like from the first game, but they never, it's like they had the inability to make them look how they're supposed to look from the cultures they come from. For the first time ever, she looks authentic. I like that. I don't know why they didn't do that. They had the ability to do that in Street Fighter 4, and they just didn't. They wanted to go with their kind of anime-ish, cartoony look. And I'm happy that finally they're giving her a look that looks like that people from that country. Thank God. Why not? I actually found it more offensive that previously everyone looked cartoony and anime-ish. Now they're finally looking kind of authentic. Like I said, it looks like they're actually going for a more hyper-realistic look. Take a look at the proportions of their bodies, right? They're actually, like, properly proportioned. I'm not saying that Zangief is, you know, not humongous. He is. But the point I'm making here is, look, there's not a giant hand that's twice the size of her head coming up over here. You know what I'm saying? Her foot doesn't go 14 feet. Like, the bodies are correct. It took a while for them to figure out we didn't want insanely gross proportioned characters, but it looks like they finally figured it out. This camera's going crazy right now, by the way. I guess what I should do is turn off the white balance again, because it's going nuts. I will. Hold on. Let me do that quickly. What is the sun came out outside, and it makes my white balance go crazy on the webcam. There we go. Okay. So, that's the original cast. Okay? Now, what we go into is returning characters who are not the original cast. Okay? We start off with Cammy. And it's funny because it says she's from Great Britain, which is correct. The character originally is from Great Britain. But I guess if you follow the plot of Street Fighter, she joined Alpha Flight. Right? Not Alpha Flight. Alpha Flight is fucking Marvel Comics. She joined a group of, I believe they were supposed to be like a military group, but then she got kidnapped by Bison and brainwashed to be one of his Killer Bee dolls. But now she's returning back to her Delta Red. That's what it is, Delta Red. Thank you guys. It was Delta Red, not Alpha Flight. I don't know why I got that mixed in my head. But anyway, yes. So she's returned, and it looks like she's kind of fully representing where she's from now, and completely redesigned character. From the ground up. She's no longer wearing a military outfit. She's no longer wearing a Killer Bee outfit. She's kind of her own thing. She's kind of cool. I like that. All right. DJ. Now, obviously, I'm excited about that. DJ's one of my favorite characters in the original Street Fighter 2 series. He's actually one of the characters that I'm really good at in competitive play. And to see him return is actually surprising. Because he is, how can I say, like, he wasn't ever a fan favorite. You know what I'm saying? He never was. Like, he was always kind of like, oh, there's Guile, but then there's DJ. And Guile's the better character, and DJ's kind of the downgraded Guile. What I'm hoping is that in this game, they will give him his own unique identity and or moveset that makes him stand out. In a way that, and I also hope he's good. Because, like, I hate to say it, when he was in Street Fighter 4, when they first put him in there, he sucked. And then they tweaked him in later versions, but the way that he was played was not... Let me put it this way. For someone who likes DJ as a character and played him in Super Turbo, playing him in Street Fighter 4 was not fun. He was just... Even though he was decent later on, he didn't play anything like Super Turbo. It was kind of frustrating. Okay? So I certainly hope that he'll kind of return to his roots of how he was played in Super Turbo. Rashid, returning character for Street Fighter 5. Fan favorite, right? I think a lot of people liked Rashid. Personally, he was one of my favorite original characters for Street Fighter 5. Remember when I played the game, I actually played with him and really liked him. I thought he was a fun character with a good build. And Jury, fan favorite from Street Fighter 4, who then later on was added to Street Fighter 5. Unique moveset for sure for a Street Fighter character. And since people liked her so much, I'm not shocked to see her return. Although I'm very interested to see what will her plot be, because the whole Shadowloo and the whole plot line with Seth and all that, it's all over. So what is her relation to the plot now that all that's done? I have no idea. I guess we'll find out. Okay, continuing on. The second half of the returning characters, I guess I would not. I guess I'll be honest with you. I'm shocked Ed is in this. Ed is such a boring, generic guy that was added as a DLC character in Street Fighter V. He worked for Shadaloo. He was one of the agents of Bison. Okay, now Shadaloo doesn't exist anymore. So who's he working for? And what's weird is if you take a look to the upper left-hand corner of his upper left shoulder, is that a Shadaloo symbol? There's no fucking Shadaloo. Unless that's the plot, they're coming back. After Street Fighter 3, they're gone. There's no Shadaloo. So what is that? And by the way, I mean, I looked at it. I didn't like that character. I just didn't like his build in Street Fighter 5. He was pretty much one of the most boring characters that I saw in Street Fighter 5. I just was not interested in this character at all. I kind of didn't even pay any attention to him in Street Fighter 5. And shocked to see that they put him in Street Fighter 6, quite frankly. But maybe, I don't know. Was he a fan favorite? I don't know. I didn't play Street Fighter 5 during that time. I thought he was one of the most unimpressive, uninspired, boring, oh look, blonde hair, blue eye, generic, stereotypical, fucking Logan Paul looking motherfucker. He's boring. I don't like that guy. Just being honest. And then of course Akuma. I mean, are you shocked that Akuma's back? Akuma will never not be in Street Fighter. Seriously. Since the day Akuma was put into Street Fighter, he's always been one of the most popular characters. He will, you know what I'm saying? He will always be in it, even if he has nothing to do with the game. Like, literally, everything could be going on in the game, and then you open a door, and Akuma's in there in a stall taking a shit. He'll still be in it, even if he has nothing to do with the plot. He'll be in it because he's that popular of a character. People never will let go of Akuma. They want Akuma to be in the game, so he's in it. How does he look? I mean, his design is kind of a hybrid of a million other versions of Akuma. Personally, I thought his design in Street Fighter V was laughably bad. It looked like he had a fucking lion's mane. Have you ever seen a human who grew a lion's mane around their head? I haven't. But anyway, there you go, Akuma baby. All right, let's continue. Now, we move on to new characters. And this is really where the big spoilers are happening. Because no one knew about these new characters except for Luke. Luke is the DLC character from Street Fighter V, so everyone already knew about him. But no one knew about these other characters. So Luke, from the United States, I guess he's the Jake Paul, right? He looked exactly the same as Ed. Stupid. Dumb. Badly designed character. No effort at all put into him. And now, not only is a DLC character for Street Fighter V, now he's one of the characters of Street Fighter 6. I'm going to laugh hysterically if they try to make him the main character of Street Fighter 6. I'm going to tell you right now, no one's going to care. People do not care about fucking Luke. They just don't. And they will not. So if this is the route they're going, just prepare for Luke to become the next Alex. Because remember in Street Fighter 3, they tried to change the plot of Street Fighter 3 to be about a new character named Alex. Nobody cared. They wanted Ryu and Ken in the classics. People were upset that in Street Fighter 3 there was only Ryu and Ken as returning characters. And Alex failed miserably as a character. No one really cared about him. So, even if they try as hard as they want, no, I don't think this character is going to be successful. And by the way, Japan, not every American is blonde hair, blue eye. Just so you know. Because you already got fucking tons of them here. Okay? Alright, just throwing that out there. Okay, the next character is called Marissa, or is it Marisa? Marissa, I don't know. A muscular fighter from Italy. Looks to me like she's kind of wearing MMA gear. Some people have referenced that she's wearing gladiator gear. I don't see that. I see like it looks like an MMA fighter to me. And I feel like they're almost going for like a Ronda Rousey Zangief hybrid. Because obviously, she does not have a feminine frame. Let's put it that way. Which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But you know this is just going to cause people to start now talking about gender issues and shit. And stuff that should not be discussed in Street Fighter. You know? So who knows? I mean, we don't know. This was just a character leak. We don't even know the character. We have no idea. All we could do is kind of speculate. But it looks to me like it'll be an MMA style fighter with a big frame, right? Like I said, like a Zangief proportioned frame. There is his name? How do you pronounce it? Jamie, right? That's Jamie. Yes. So interestingly enough, Jamie is a fan of Yun and Yang from Street Fighter 3. That's in his character bio. And he brings that style to his fighting. If you saw the Sony State of Play, you would actually see that he does like breakdance fighting, which is weird because the way he dresses reminds me of Feng from Tekken. Okay? So I don't know how he'll fight besides those little like breakdance kicks, but he looks pretty unique to me. The next character's name is Mimi. M-I-M-I. Mimi. Supposed to be a French fighter. A lot of people are saying she looks like a French version of Abel. Remember, Abel was a French fighter in the plotline of Street Fighter 4, who, to some extent, was meant to be kind of the new character in Street Fighter 4 that was a main following in the plot. I have no clue how she will fight, unless she fights like Abel, maybe. But I have no idea. She looks very tall, but again, we don't know if these are properly proportioned. She looks pretty tall. Maybe she'll be like a lanky fighter with big reach. Don't know. Can't tell. Okay? And then finally, the last character leak here. And the thing is, if you put all these next to each other, you'll kind of see the height proportions. So it looks like two of these characters are short. One is tall and one maybe is mid. You can't really tell. So this character, I believe, there's actually disagreement about the name of this character. Some people are saying her name is Riri, and some people are saying her name is Lily. Because people are disagreeing because they're like, I guess the translation, you can't tell. It could be both. And Tekken already has a character named Lily or Lily. So people are like, why would they name another character the same exact name as a major character from Tekken? So people aren't sure the name of this character. Okay? But she is from Mexico. And it looks like she's wielding a pair of ball-headed war clubs. Kind of reminds me of a few things. If you see Mortal Kombat, the character Kotal Khan, in one of his builds, he's using a giant club that's supposed to be like a ceremonial war club of like indigenous peoples of like America. And I think it's supposed to be a reference to like maybe Mexican indigenous peoples and things like that. So I think this may be a reference to that cultural history of Mexico. I have absolutely no idea if there was ever Mexican fighters who used claw clubs. You know, who knows? I don't know. Certainly not exactly. Aztec or Mayan inspired, perhaps, right? Looks like a unique character. Have no idea how she's going to play. I'll be honest with you. I hope she's not a complete cultural stereotype like fucking El Fuerte was. El Fuerte, quite frankly, could be considered quite offensive. When he's jumping and saying tortilla pop and fucking burrito kick and shit. It's like, what the fuck? Like, Japan, hey, Capcom Japan, hi. Can you not be that ridiculous? Like, can you, like, at least give some respect to the culture and not go, like, taquito roll and fucking shit? Like, come on, like, taco punch? Jesus Christ. Get a fucking clue here. It's out of control. Okay, let's continue. The next character is called JP. Does it stand for something? I have no idea. But he's supposed to be from Russia. But interestingly enough, take a look at his shoulder up there. There is a question mark on his shoulder. Why? What does that mean? I have no idea. Obviously, they put it there for a reason. I don't know if it means anything in particular, but it's kind of interesting. Will he have something to do maybe with the plot of the game? Could he be the boss of the game? Perhaps. Maybe. And so maybe he's running an organization or something. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. He certainly looks like almost, you know who he reminds me of? Rugal B from King of Fighters. That's exactly who he reminds me of. He's got the long hair. He's in like, you know, very, very fancy attire, formal looking attire. And Rugal originally looked like that. Rugal Bernstein in King of Fighters. Now, over the years, he became Omega Rugal, and he ripped his clothes off. He's a big roided fucking cyborg freak. But originally, this is how he looked. And that's kind of looking like that to me. I'm curious about this character. If this will be the new boss, that's my guess. He may be the new boss and the new kind of antagonist of Street Fighter 6, perhaps. The next character is called Kimberly. All right. A fighter from the U.S. with colorful street clothes and a Walkman. Do you see a Walkman? I'm reading some notes that people took about these characters online. This one, I'm actually reading, just for clarification purposes, I'm reading some notes from Polygon. I don't want anyone to say, oh, he read right off of Polygon and he didn't say he did. I'm reading some of the information off of Polygon.com. Shout out to Polygon who covered this story. Go read the full article if you'd like. Okay. Anyway, a Walkman, I mean, I guess she has some kind of a music player or something on her. You know what threw me for a loop? If you watch the state of play that Sony did on Thursday, okay, it shows Chun-Li doing a flip over a character who looks like a teenage Chinese girl. And that girl has headphones on that has like a digital character on the headphone. And I was looking at it, I was like, oh, maybe that girl will be a character, because that's probably the girl who Chun-Li is raising in Street Fighter 3. For those who don't know, in the lore of Street Fighter 3, Shadowlu's defeated, and there's a young girl whose parents were killed by Shadowlu. Chun-Li adopts the girl and becomes a mother, adopted mother to the girl. So I was thinking in this game, that girl would be a character. Like, she trained that girl to be a fighter. But then there's this girl who kind of almost looks similar. And I'm like, thrown for a loop, like, who's this then? You know, I don't know. And who knows? I mean, she's got weird hair. Like, it looks like she's got, like, maybe hair extensions with flames coming off. Does that mean she has flame abilities? I don't know. I guess we're going to find out. And then the last character, called AKI, or Aki, but it's abbreviation, like A period, K period, I period. Supposed to be Chinese, okay? White-haired woman who has claws. Kind of reminds me of, Fang, right? Like, Fang was a clawed character in Street Fighter 5. And kind of the same kind of a deal, maybe. I don't know. I have no clue how she's going to play. She looks completely unique. Maybe I mean, obviously she looks like a villain. Just take a look. Her design looks like a fucking villain. So you almost feel like JP is the antagonist and she's the second in command, or the henchman. Much like how in the original Street Fighters, it was Bison was the guy in charge, and then he had his big three under him with Balrog, Sagat, and Vega. So maybe she'll be one of the newcomer characters who will be working for JP. I'm guessing. I mean, I have no idea. I have no information about any of this. I'm just, guessing. So, what do I think of these character designs? Because ultimately, it's not just about the leaks, but what do I think? I think there's potential. I'm liking it. Here's what I really like, okay? You got the 8 original characters returning. So for those who played the classics, you're already satisfied because all of your staple characters are in there, and hopefully they adhere. And I will definitely emphasize this. Hopefully they adhere to their original play styles. This is one of my major gripes with Street Fighter V, is that they had returning characters like Blanca and Vega. And even though technically their movesets looked similar, they played absolutely fucking nothing like the characters from the original games. They turned Vega into a fucking motion character. Vega with a dragon punch. How to say I don't understand what made Street Fighter popular without saying I don't know what made Street Fighter popular? Take classic characters and completely change how they're played, destroying the design of the character. Like, I mean, seriously, it was like hack mode playing that game. You're like, Jesus Christ, why call him Vega? Just fucking call him something else. Don't have him be Blanca. I just put a new character in the game because it doesn't play like Blanca, so why fucking call him Blanca? That frustrates people who've played these games for 20 plus years and just want to see their favorites come back. Capcom didn't understand that. How are they all so off base? I just don't understand it. All right? So anyway, I hope the original 8 characters, at least to some extent, will play like the 8 classics. Then you have the returning characters from the later iterations of the games, and that's a good thing. Fan favorites, right? Characters that people absolutely loved and enjoyed and want to see return because they've had to go. You know, Kuma, like I said, will always be a fucking fan favorite. I don't think he'll ever not be in a Street Fighter game at this point, okay? And then, of course, the new characters. And there's a good amount of them. It's not just, oh, there's 2 or 3. There's like a good mix of new characters this time around. I like that. I definitely like that. And I feel like everything we've seen is on the right track. The graphical design for Street Fighter 6 is more realistic. No hyper accentuated proportions and stupid cartoony shit or anime shit. It looks more realistic and they look like people from the region they're supposed to be from. Good. Having a good mix of characters from original, middle, and now new. That's good. Having a combat system that can be played differently with the drive meter, can be parry or counter reversal or an offensive cancel. That's good. It's all good. I you know what I mean? Like, has anything that I've seen so far made me worry? No. But then again, this game's been in development for quite some time and apparently was rebooted completely after Ono presented it to the board of Capcom. They said, this looks terrible, and they just started over from scratch. So, I don't know. See, the thing is, I don't really have faith. I'm being honest with you guys now. I don't have faith in Capcom after Street Fighter V was so bad, in my opinion. I'm a lifelong fan of Street Fighter. I've played every major one. Street Fighter V was so bad. It was so off base of what you would look for in a competitive game. It was literally made for people to play online with lag. It sucked ass. It took away the competitive spirit of the game when the game was a boring pattern play game. It was guessing. Like, I hope this game is completely different. Seriously. You know what? How about this? If you want to have pattern play characters, have them in there, but have other options. Have the original Street Fighter characters play like Street Fighter 2. Have the returning characters play like Street Fighter 4 or 5, and have the new cast play like something different. I'd be pleased with that, because then you can play it any way you want. You need variety in order to have a fighting game be competitively fun and challenging, not just for the viewer, but for the player as well. That's what Street Fighter V was missing, and I hope that's what we're going to get. I don't know if that's what we're going to get. Okay, we're about to do shout-outs, but I got to blow my nose, because I feel like I'm about to sneeze. Ugh. Ugh. How do I? There is some good news. I remembered to take my allergy meds. I knew today I was going to be talking for a very extended period of time. So I wanted to be able to do this without having, like, oh God, I'm sneezing my eyes and everything, you know, nasal drip and shit. So the good news is I'm medicated. I should be ready for today, okay? So what we're going to do now, we're going to do shout outs for contributions. We're going to update the leaderboard. And then we're going to look at a menu. We're going to see what won the poll, because I don't know what cuisine has won the poll for Feasting with the King today. We're going to look at it live, and then we're going to pick out what I'm going to order. Then we're going to go on a break for me to go order, because I got to go check with my wife, see what she wants. We're going to order. I'm going to switch over everything to the React event, which then means all monetization will be, you know, shut off. There'll be no leaderboard, no pop-ups, nothing. Just me and the video. We're going to do that for at least 2 to 3 hours. And then we're going to go on a break to do Feasting with the King, at which point everything will come back temporarily for Feasting with the King. And then after Feasting with the King, it'll all be turned off again. We'll finish the React, and then there'll be kind of a summary video at the end to say goodnight. Fair enough? Let's do some shout-outs. Here we go. Okay. Excuse me. So, thank you to Ruby for a super chat. Says, to clarify this for all the newer fans or even longtime fans, Rambo isn't his real last name, right? I mean, he's outright said that in his own content many times, that no, Rambo is not his real last name. I don't know why you ask me that, but no, it's not his real last name. B-Boy Cyclone, re-upped his membership for 13 months. Is excited to hear your reaction, brother. Stay up, yo. Again, I'm not excited for today. You're getting the wrong impression. Today is necessary. Today is a step forward. Today is clearing the air and in a lot of ways taking a weight off my shoulders that's been on there for many years, and it's a way to address the past and move forward positively from it. This is not an exciting event. I'm not pumped to do this. This is hurtful stuff. There's really damning stuff we're about to review, guys. You understand that, right? I mean, I know for a lot of you, you're like, oh, but it's from the past. It still hurts, man. It hurt. Every time I listen to this video, it hurts. Every fucking time, you know? And I just want to put it to bed so I don't have to ever listen to it again. I'm tired. I'm tired of people asking me about it. That's why I'm doing this. You understand? So this is not fun. This is not exciting. It's not the point. Okay. Ruby did another super chat and says, would you be allowed and would you ever consider reacting to the entire series of Schnozman a Hole Punch? I'm not doing that. Not doing that. And it's just not even in good faith, right? If you want to watch Schnozman a Hole Punch, which we're going to mention, actually, because it's in this video, where you guys will know what, because half of you are like, what the fuck is he talking? What the fuck is Schnozman a Hole Punch? We'll talk about it in the React, but I'm not doing that. No. Pool King did a $10 super chat. So do you still keep in contact with John and Howard or other people that you had in the videos? No. And we'll talk about that. Again, we're all getting ahead. You guys are asking me questions about stuff that literally will be answered. I don't want to get ahead of myself. No. I've not had contact with these guys in literally 6.5 years. For most other people from back in Connecticut, the moment I moved was pretty much the end of contact. Almost, I will say there's probably 2 other people. Okay, I take that back. 3 people in Connecticut who I was friendly with, mostly through Street Fighter, who did at least from time to time attempt to contact me and talk to me. But it just kind of went away. And you know what they say? It's out of sight, out of mind. If I'm not in Connecticut, if I'm not attending Street Fighter tournaments, if I'm not having get-togethers at my house, and if I'm not hanging out with these people, you move on. And that's essentially what happened with many of my Street Fighter buddies is I wasn't playing Street Fighter. I lived in Seattle area. I'm gone, right? To them, that's it. That's the end of that stage of life. No more hangouts at Phil's place and stuff like that, you know? And of course, I wish them the best, but that's just stuff that happens, you know? Okay, let's continue. Phantom Ryu has joined the channel. Phantom Ryu, someone who I used to play Super Turbo with back in the day. Speak of people who used to have interactions with back in the day. What's going on, Phantom Ryu? I hope you're doing well. Thank you for becoming a member. And Abdullah just re-upped his membership for 4 months in a row, so I hope Gen makes it into Street Fighter 6. Yes, we should clarify, even though we just talked about the Street Fighter 6 roster leaks, that may not be the end-all be-all roster. That could be the starting roster. There very well could be expansion characters later, or that could just be the roster as of now. We have no idea what those leaks are. Someone leaked that shit, and we don't know. Was that meant to be public? Is that development data? I don't know. Okay. So by the way, let's actually see how many members we're at as of now. Because we might actually have hit a new record. Remember, 601 is our record. We may have actually hit a new record here, which would be superb. We're at 603. Wow, guys. Again, isn't it funny how for months memberships had stagnated, right? And everyone was like, oh, the reason people don't become a member is because it's not good. The program's not that good. There's no incentive. All of a sudden, there's gifted memberships, and I'm at 603. Like, wait a minute. No, again, it's exactly what happened on Twitch. Do I believe that the Twitch subs were that good? No. I don't think that the Twitch subs were that good either. It's a feeling of community. It's a feeling of camaraderie. We're all having fun together. Let's all support each other. And then, boom, here comes the support. Parasolo just gifted a membership. Who's going to get it? Cabal just got the gifted membership. Congratulations. So that means we actually just went up to 604. You see the point I'm making here? Now, again, guys, thank you for the support on the pre-stream. However, I'm not doing any shout-outs for any of this stuff or anything during the React portion. Just to make that clear, we'll do it after. We'll do, when we're doing Feasting with the King, that's when we'll get back to that. Okay. Tarantula MS 2018 just did a super chat. Says, do you think there should ever be a Street Fighter versus Mortal Kombat? I'm not against the idea, especially when, if you haven't seen, but the last Mortal Kombat adopted a lot of gameplay mechanics from Street Fighter-esque stuff. Meaning, you know, quick get-ups or wake-up recovery rolls and shit. That Mortal Kombat had never had that before. So it almost was moving more towards that style of gameplay. So I would argue, yeah, like Mortal Kombat's going there, and it would eventually maybe be adaptable to have the two sets of fighters go at it. I don't know, though, because it would mean, you know, Street Fighter isn't gory, nor does it want to go there. So it would have to be maybe like Mortal Kombat characters have fatalities and Street Fighter doesn't. I don't know. Plus, you're talking about a whole bed of worms, or a can of worms, excuse me, when it comes to intellectual property rights and how much licensing fees and shit. It would be crazy. I don't know. Could it happen? Yes. Will it happen? Unlikely. Let's put it that way. Uncle Ruckus has re-upped his membership for 2 months, stating MK12 will have a custom character story mode. I'm not sure if that's confirmed or not, but thank you, Uncle Ruckus. All right, we have a couple quick tips to shout out. We have an anonymous $2 tip saying, will you be reacting to Nintendo Direct if Nintendo ever announces them? Possibly, yes. If it's a Nintendo Direct that I feel will be interesting to me and my content is something that I'm interested that I'll play, then yeah. If it's like, oh, it's a whole Nintendo Direct about a game that I'll never play, then no, I'm probably not going to cover it. Hollywood J. Hale with the biggest tip of the day, $25. Thank you, Hollywood J. Hale, for a $25 tip. He says, based. Thank you. I don't even know what that's in reference to, but thank you, Hollywood J. Hale, for the tip. All right, so guys, before we end the pre-stream, we got to see what food we're ordering and figure out what we're ordering. Let's take a look at the poll that you guys have been voting on, okay, over the last several days on the community tab of DSP Gaming. What's funny is, at first, it was almost a tie, triple tie. Then, for like 2 days, Szechuan Chinese was in the lead. Then overnight, you guys may not realize this, Vietnamese became the leader by 1%. And ladies and gentlemen, it is official. Pokeballs got 29% of the vote. Szechuan Chinese got 35% of the vote. And with over 1,300 people voting, Vietnamese food is the winner. I would be lying if I didn't tell you I was excited, and here's why I'm excited for this. I've always wanted to try banh mi sandwiches. I've heard so much good stuff about them. I've heard that it's like fresh baguette bread with various meats and ingredients they put on them, and people tell me they are absolutely delicious. I've never had one. So this is opportunity for me to try banh mi, but also I want to get a pho, which is their traditional soup, and then maybe something else. So let's do this. Right now, live, let's figure out what I'm getting for Vietnamese food for Feasting with the King. Let's do it. Let's do it to it. Okay. So, open up this thing here. All right. And we'll start right from the beginning. Bubble tea. Okay. Who out there has had a bubble tea, and what do you think? I'm just curious. I'm not saying I'm going to order one. To me, I know bubble teas are very popular in various different Asian cuisines. But to me, like, the idea of having this, like, isn't it supposed to be like candy or tapioca or something, like that jelly consistency in your tea? It just seems weird to me. Like, if I want a refreshing drink, I just want a refreshing drink. I don't want a bunch of chewy, sweet, like gooey jelly candy in my tea. But maybe I'm wrong, and maybe it's really good. I don't know. What do you guys think? Swagonito says it's delicious. Some people are saying it's decent, and some people are saying it's just a blatant gimmick. I like bubble tea, but you need real boba. It's sweet milk tea with tapioca balls. The tapioca balls are a strange compliment to the flavor. Bubble tea is overhyped. It's decent taste-wise. See, this is why I like having such a great live audience. You guys give me all these different takes. Personally, I've always been, like, apprehensive to try it. Maybe one day I would, but since I'm getting this delivery, I'm not going to order it. I don't want to get a drink come in and it fucking spills all over the place and ends up being, like, shitty. I'm not going to do that. So, okay, so let's move on to the actual food. When it comes to appetizers, I was looking at some of these. So they have like fried tofu. I've never had fried tofu before. I don't know what that would taste like. They have salt and pepper fried tofu. Things that are kind of things I would have had other places. Coconut prawns. I've had those other places. Vegetarian crispy rolls. I don't know. Nothing too special there. But then when you move on to, they have their fresh rolls. I think what this is, now you guys could correct me if I'm wrong. Aren't the fresh rolls basically like almost like a translucent rice paper? Or it's sticky, right? And they wrap a ton of things in it. Like they have shrimp noodle, tofu avocado, papaya and beef, chicken and basil, and lemongrass and pork. So they have 5 different kinds. And by the way, this is like almost like a big meal. Like they're hearty. It's not like, oh, a little thing. Apparently it's supposed to be a good amount of them. Right? Some people are saying I should get one. I don't even know what lemongrass tastes like. I wonder if it's good. Spring rolls are always a good choice. People are saying. All right, that's an idea. They have all these varieties, okay? Now, pho. I'm definitely getting pho. For those who don't know, pho is rice noodle soup, and you can get so many different things in it. Like, for example, here they're saying classic beef, ginger, chicken ginger, vegetable and tofu. A combo where you can get like ribeye, brisket, meatball, tripes, tendons, like every kind of meat you could think of. Okay? They even have an oxtail pho or a shrimp pho. Okay? I want to do one. But I don't know which one. All right? And I'm going to need your help determining which pho to get. I want one. I just don't know which one. Okay? And then they have some traditional dishes, but as I've told you guys, I'm leaning way more towards getting a banh mi sandwich because I've always wanted one. So they do have them. Here's what they have. Just listen to this variety. Ribeye, steak, pork, tofu, chicken, grilled chicken, braised pork belly, and ahi tuna and avocado. That is a crazy variety. Again, I've never had a banh mi. I don't know which one is even... Where do you start? What's a good starter banh mi? I don't know. So here's what we'll do. Why don't we do one of what I just said? A spring roll, a pho, and a banh mi. We'll order one of each, and that'll be a good variety of stuff to try for DSP Tries It. How does that sound? Okay? Okay, so where are fresh? They call them fresh rolls, not spring rolls. They call them fresh rolls. Okay, so here's the options. There's 5: shrimp noodle, tofu avocado, papaya beef, chicken basil, and lemongrass pork. How about this? I'm going to eliminate chicken basil because it kind of sounds little generic. It says it's green leaves with basil, some pickled daikon, carrot with peanut sauce. I mean, I kind of could tell you what that'll taste like. You know what I mean? So let's do a poll right now. We're going to do a poll, a live poll. Here we go. Which spring roll should fill order? Should it be shrimp noodle? Should it be... I'm going to describe these in a second. Tofu avocado. Should it be papaya beef? Or should I get lemongrass pork? Now I'm going to read the descriptions. All right? Shrimp noodle is green leaf, basil, pickled daikon, and carrot served with a peanut dipping sauce. Tofu avocado is green leaf, basil, pickled daikon, carrot with peanut sauce. Exactly the same. Papaya beef. Oh, they're all the same. Oh, no. Papaya beef is green leaf, basil, pickled daikon, carrot, but it has a soy vinaigrette dipping sauce. I guess they felt the peanut didn't complement the flavor of the beef, so they gave you soy vinaigrette instead. And then lemongrass pork is green leaf, basil, pickled daikon, carrot with lime vinaigrette. So the beef one has soy vinaigrette. The pork has lime vinaigrette. The tofu and shrimp both have a peanut sauce. Okay? Okay? All right, people are voting. So here we go. Right now in the lead is papaya beef. Interesting. Papaya beef. Keep in mind, if I get beef fresh rolls, I don't want to get beef pho. I don't want to get beef and beef. I want to get something different. So if you wanted to see me do beef pho, then do not vote for the papaya beef fresh roll. All right? Okay. Protusum Zone, if you're bored, you can just leave and not come back. Because you're sitting here complaining. I'm bored. Then leave. There's over 700 people here having a good time. You're sitting here whining. Okay, the votes are shifting a bit. I think when I said, if you want to see me do beef pho, don't vote for the papaya beef, people are changing their votes. Because I'm seeing the votes actually shift as we speak here. Okay. Yeah, keep in mind, you don't want to get 3 dishes all the same protein. That's ridiculous. That'd be stupid, right? We don't want to do that. All right, right now, papaya beef is still in the lead, 31%, but tofu avocado is actually jumping ahead to 27. Oh, we're seeing a shift. We're seeing a shift in the votes. Papaya beef is now only ahead by 2%, with tofu avocado right behind it at 27%. Lemongrass pork at 24%. All right, I'm gonna give it 30 seconds for you guys to vote, and then because we have 3 to vote on, so I'm gonna give it 30 more seconds, and then I'm gonna end the poll. All right, it's very close right now. It's a neck and neck between papaya beef and tofu avocado. Interesting. Hello, Guts. How are you? Welcome. It's neck and neck. No, papaya beef has taken the lead again by 1%. With only about 15 seconds left. Let's do a countdown. Ready? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. That's it. Papaya beef has won by 1%. So I will be ordering papaya beef rolls with a, I think it said soy vinaigrette dipping sauce. Okay. Moving on to the pho. All right. Greetings, DC. How are you? He says he has a grass is greener haiku, the hanging green leaves, the vibrant green living grass, the bright shining sun. That's beautiful. That sounds like straight out of Ghost of Tsushima. Good one, DC. Okay. That's number 1. Papaya beef spring roll or fresh roll. Now let's order a pho. Now I already told you guys I'm not getting beef. We're getting beef in the rolls. So now here are our options: chicken ginger, vegetable tofu, oxtail, or shrimp. So I'm going to put those up for a vote. Here we go. Which pho should fill order? So, chicken ginger, vegetable tofu, oxtail, or shrimp. I will describe them. Let's get the poll up. All right, for you guys to vote. So here's the descriptions. Chicken ginger is sliced white meat chicken served with fresh bean sprout, basil, lime, and jalapeno. So it has some spiciness to it. Vegetable tofu is fried tofu, carrots, broccoli, and zucchini in a vegetarian broth served with fresh bean sprout, basil, lime, and jalapeno. So that also has a kick to it. Oxtail, thinly sliced, medium rare ribeye steak with roasted oxtails served with fresh bean sprout, basil, lime, and jalapeno. Or shrimp, which is served with beef broth. Oh, it's just exactly the same. So they're all the broths and ingredients are the same except for basically the protein. Okay. Okay. Whoa. Oxtail is ginormously in the lead initially. 56% of the vote right now is for oxtail initially. For the record, I've never had oxtail. Never. So I don't know what it's like. I don't know what it would taste like. I don't know if it's going to come on a bone or if it'll just be the meat. I have absolutely no idea. Oxtail is really good, I'm being told. Can I handle this much beef in one day? Yes, as long as I don't have any more. Like for the rest of the week, let me think about this. The other meals we're having this week, we're having turkey meatloaf. That's turkey. That's fine. We're having, okay, one day we're going to have gumbo, and that is some shrimp. but it's also chicken sausage. So I'm going to have that. I should probably have that Monday. Yeah, so I'll have the turkey meatloaf for dinner tomorrow, and I'll be fine. As long as I'm not eating, like, red meat on red meat or shellfish with red meat, and I'm not, if today was a drink-a-thon and I was going to be drinking all day on stream, then I wouldn't be ordering the beef. But I should be okay. No, Derek, we've not gotten to the banh mi sandwich yet. All right, we got 270 votes. 56% of people have voted for oxtail. I think we could just say oxtail. I don't even think we need to make any more progress here. Okay? All right. Oxtail. Pho. Added. All right. Now, the banh mi or Vietnamese style baguette sandwich. Here are the options. Now, I'm just going to tell you guys, we're eliminating beef. There's no way I'm getting beef. Okay? So, there is sauteed pork. There is tofu. There is chicken. There's pork belly. And there's ahi tuna and avocado. Now, being that I'm already getting beef and beef, I'm going to eliminate the pork belly. Pork belly, I've had it before. I know what it is. It's delicious. It is incredibly bad for you. It's basically like, bacon? That meat that everyone likes? Think insanely fatty bacon. That's pork belly, okay? So I'm not doing pork belly. Absolutely not. That's not even going to be an option, okay? I think what we'll do is the sauteed pork, the tofu, the chicken, and ahi tuna and avocado. Those will be the 4 options, okay? So here we go. Which Vietnamese sandwich should Phil try? Shit. So we got chicken, pork, tofu, or ahi, tuna, and avocado. There you go. And now I will read you the descriptions of the sandwiches. Okay? So, served with house garlic mayonnaise, pickled daikons, carrots, cilantro, cucumber, and a side of yam fries. That sounds delicious. Yam fries. Yummy. All right, here we go. Ahi tuna and avocado has an early lead, and that's interesting. I have never had... Okay, I've had tuna in sushi. I have never had it in a sandwich. That sounds very interesting to me, actually. Okay. Ahi tuna and avocado is taken off. It is 5% in the lead and actually increasing in the lead. Yeah. Nice. Bro Moment is absolutely dedicated in the stream chat. He's pissed. He's ripping pissed. You want to know what he's saying? I've never heard of ahi tuna in a banh mi. This is unacceptable, unprecedented. I don't like it. Okay, I kind of extrapolated upon what he was saying. But apparently he is not of the opinion that we should be doing a tuna banh mi. He doesn't like this. Okay? All right, we got almost 300 votes, and it looks like the ahi tuna and avocado is way ahead. Again, I've never had tuna in a sandwich like this. This should be interesting. By the way, it doesn't even say if it's cooked. I would assume it's not raw. It's not raw tuna in the sandwich. You would think it's cooked tuna. It's sinful to mix tuna and avocado. All right. Well, we got about 300 votes. All right. We got about 300 votes, and it's now almost 10% in favor of the ahi tuna. So that's what we're going to do. Okay. So yes, ahi tuna and avocado sandwich, sweet with yam fries. I've never had yam fries. Aren't yams very similar to sweet potatoes though? So likely it'll be very close to the flavor of sweet potatoes, right? All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we've got it set. Here's what I'm going to be eating on Feasting with the King later today. Papaya beef fresh rolls. I believe that said it had a like a soy vinaigrette dipping sauce. Oxtail pho. And ahi tuna and avocado banh mi sandwich. Yummy! That sounds delicious to me. Okay, so guys, thank you. This has been a great pre-stream podcast. I hope you've enjoyed it. As I've explained, all right, once I stop this podcast in moments, here's what's going to happen. Number one, I'm turning off the monetization. There will be no pop-ups. There will be no leaderboard, nothing. We're going to set up for the React event, and then I'm going to react for a while. When the food shows up later today, that's when everything else will go back on. Okay? And that's when we will do shout-outs for any contributions that have maybe come in or whatever behind the scenes. Right before and then during the Feasting with the King. We'll do Feasting with the King with the food. I'll order the food for roughly, just so you know, roughly around 4 p.m. Pacific time will be when the food will come around. All right? Then after that, everything will be turned off again. All right? And then we will do the second half of the React event. All right? And then when the React event is over and completed, I will do kind of a, hey, thanks for watching, summary night end video, where again, if there were any other contributions that came in during the course of the day, we will do shout outs. All right? Fair enough? I'm trying to be as fair and transparent about this as possible. I don't want people to get the wrong impression and think, why is Phil not appreciative if we're contributing? Why are there no pop-ups? Why are there no shout outs? That's not the purpose of today's stream. All right? Fair enough? Okay. Oh, wait, I have to shout something out. Incidentally, one more contribution came in from Vineet DM, who did a super chat. Thank you to Vineet for the super chat. Let's get that on the leaderboard. And then I guess what we'll do is we'll end the pre-stream. Or I'll just say this. Last chance, if any of you want to shout out right away, you have to contribute right now. I'll give you like 60 seconds. All right? And that's it. Then I'm turning it all off. All right? So you got... Fucking mouse is not working. You got like 60 seconds. Not pressuring you. I'm just saying after this, you're going to have to wait several hours if you want anything further. All right? Okay. No, there are no goals. There's no goals for likes. There's no goals for bullshit. There's no goals on the stream today. This here does not affect the content, okay? At all. In fact, this is stupid. I should not have termed it like this. Here's just what we're gonna do. Ready? My fault. Totally my fault because I just left it saying that. There we go. I'm trying to make this as clear as possible. It's not about that today. Okay? Okay. Alright, are we good? Yes, this is my Chicago 2009 shirt, Derek. I will address that actually in the React event. Okay? Alice Telemon took me $1.50. Says, go get it. Thank you, Atlas. Okay. I think we're safe now again. This is it. As of right now, it's official. I'm turning off the pop-ups right now. Off. I'm turning off the leaderboard. Off. look at this. Oh my God, we're being erased. Everything is going away. Everything's being erased. That's it. All right. Let's end the pre-stream. I have a little bit more setup to do. I'm going to run, like I said, I'm going to order food with my wife, and then we're going to come back and get started, all right? Thank you guys. Great pre-stream today. Excellent.